Hi guys, Simone from 90s Crime Time here again with your weekly 90s Crime Time YouTube video. Once again, I'm going to warn you, not tech savvy, still learning how to do the perfect videos, but I'm glad you're here to join me for these videos and have subscribed or are looking or just a fan of 90s Crime Time. I appreciate you guys. Now, today's case is a case that has not been on any social media that 90s Crime Time has, nor has it been on the podcast, I should say. And it's going to be short, but it's a 90s case that I found interesting, and I'm glad to share it with you. Now, today's case is from 1994, specifically July 21st, 1994, and it takes place in Evansville, Indiana. Now, that day, 31-year-old Eric Wrinkles was living temporarily with her two children in the home of her brother, Mark Fulkerson, who was 28, and his wife, Natalie, who was 26. And on July 21st, 1994, around 2 a.m., a man burst in the house, and he was wearing camo and camo face paint, and he immediately shot and killed Mark. Then he turned his gun to Deborah, and Deborah's daughter pleaded with the gunman not to shoot her mother, but he did it anyway, and Deborah was dead. And then lastly, he shot and killed Natalie with a shot to the face, fled to his pickup truck, and left the scene. After police investigated, they found the shell casings, and it was to a .357 Magnum, and they traced the owner of that gun to a man hiding at his cousin's house, and the man was named Eric Wrinkles. He was 34 years old and the estranged husband of Deborah. And when he was interrogated, he said, pretty much, yeah, I did it. This is because he blamed his actions because Deborah had left the home with their two children. They had a fierce custody battle, and he was afraid that Deborah would take the children and he would never see them again. And he also blamed his actions on his meth addiction. It was also public knowledge that Eric's mother had tried to get her son psychological help because he had erratic behavior and he had psych issues. And they told her that he didn't meet the criteria to be admitted to a psych ward. But 2 weeks before the murders, he was admitted to the psych ward and stayed there for a few days. But the psychiatrist released him a few days early because they said he was no longer a grave danger. Fast forwarding to the trial in May 1995, he was found guilty of the 3 murders. The next month, he was sentenced to death by lethal injection. 1999, Eric said that he wanted a new trial, and it was granted. And in that new trial, his defense attorney said that his previous attorneys did not mention his meth addiction, nor did they mention his troubled childhood, and that was a factor. And those were factors that that's why he did those triple murders. But those claims fell on deaf ears, and he was resentenced to death. And he tried and fought hard and hard again to, appeal his convictions, get off death row, possibly get out of prison. But after 10 years, it wasn't working. Eric said, F it, I'm just gonna stop. So he stopped the appeals process. He no longer wanted help trying to get off death row or fight his conviction. He said, let's just go ahead, kill me, pretty much. He didn't even want to request clemency from the governor, but, he was like, I'm done fighting. They said I'm guilty, I'm guilty. So, December 2009, his death warrant was signed, and on December 10th, 2009, he had his last meal, which consisted of steak, pork chops, rolls, 2 salads with ranch, a loaded baked potato. And then he had activists at his corner from the anti-death penalty coalition or something like that. And obviously they protested saying that, the natural way is the only way for death. But December 11th, around midnight, he was executed by lethal injection. You guys can draw your own opinion. My opinion is, obviously he did it, meth or no meth. He was probably upset that Deborah left him and took the kids. He had his motive. He didn't want the kids to be taken away from him permanently. And his mom tried to give him help because he obviously had issues, meth or no meth, obviously. And there's that. I'm going to put the articles that I read this from in the notes. You can read more about it And I hope you guys tell me what you think about it in the comments. Once again, thank you for tuning in to today's 90s Crime Time video. Hope the case left you intrigued. Once again, sorry for my speech. I get really excited and passionate about these things, and sometimes it comes out really jumbled. But once again, I'm trying to get better, trying to have some good quality to these videos. And I'm glad that you guys have subscribed. To the ones who have subscribed, I thank you. To the ones who have not but are still looking, thank you. And I saw some people comment that they would like a shout out on the show. I will definitely do that, make a list. To the ones who did that already, I did not see it until after the episode released. So on the next episode or the next episode, I will shout you out and appreciate you and thank you for your support for being on 90s Crime Time. And also Patreon is coming soon. I'm trying to make it perfect for you guys so it's not confusing. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next episode of 90s Crime Time, the YouTube channel, and on the podcast too, especially the YouTube channel, because tomorrow possibly I'll be talking about Wednesday's case that I released called Sex to Death. That was a good one. That was a scary one, yet a good one. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but that was a good one to read about. So you guys check it out wherever you listen to my podcast called Sex to Death, or any other podcast episode that you have not heard yet. I appreciate your support again. If you leave a comment, please be nice. And I will see you guys on the next video.